This is kvci.blogspot.com. I'm George Boston Rhymes. I'm at Valdosta High School, the home of the Wildcats in the city of Titletown, USA. You're looking at what they call a tower, water tower, and we also know that there has been graffiti at one point written on this tower. However, we are not here for that today. We are here to ask the question, as this school, like many other schools in our beloved city and county, was erected to house and educate our children. We see black African American children in particular committing crimes on the streets. We have had 5 community meetings called for by our elected officials. We had attorneys, we had lawyers, we had other professional people to come to try and find a solution to put a stop to the crime rate in our communities. But I'm here this day to say to you, who put down this asphalt at Valdosta City High School? If, say, instance, the small disadvantaged contractors and subcontractors could have gotten more of these dollars from building these roads at Valdosta City High School, would the parents have more income, that the children would not be in the streets and searching for a way out of their poverty-stricken condition? If the same people, if the same business owners continue to get the larger portions of the money in our community, this is not an ugly picture to view. It is the right picture to view. We know you all go to church, and I go to church also. Some of you go to mosque, some of you go to synagogue. But look at all of this cement, all of this asphalt. We must ask, who benefited from all of this construction work out here? And is it easy to tell that if families, businesses get this money, that there's a possibility that those children shouldn't have to, say, rob, cheat, and steal, because their family, their mothers and fathers have income. And they can take care of their children. Their children can get the Nikes and the things that they say on TV and get the American dream. But if they are locked out of the process, we know that there are very few contractors or general contractors that has their portfolio in order or that can get the bonding for the construction of many of these facilities in our community. But with all the new schools that we have and others in the pipeline to be built, how will poor families benefit from these buildings and from this work that must and will be done in our community? Don't you think these are legitimate questions? Don't you think that if we can criticize those that are committing the crimes, that we should ensure that they at least get a part or a piece of the pie? Yeah. Look at that little tent over there. Wonder, did anybody benefit? Was it purchased from a black hardware store here in town? Or was it purchased from a hardware store in town that refuses to even employ blacks in their facilities? Look at those buildings there, those mobile homes there. Were they purchased from a black business owner? Then so when we see our children, black African American children, committing crimes, we should try to understand that they are locked down and their parents have been locked down. You see, the problem is not necessarily teen pregnancy. That's a part of the problem. It's not that our children don't want to work. it's partly to blame, but I see blacks in this country and poor whites as well. I have talked to white contractors when Mr. John Robinson and myself went to white churches. Oh yeah, we attended quite a few white churches because we wanted to know what was going on. Some of them are suffering too and saying, why is it that the good old boys get all the lucrative contracts or dominate the building industry, and many of them have foreigners and therefore knocking them out of their job. One white guy was riding a bicycle talking about he used to have his own subcontractor, but what is happening now totally locked him out and he had to close his business. So we're going to close now. I just want you all to get a view, and this is the word on the street. This is the real word on the street that nobody want to talk about. We'll talk about our children with their pants down, but what about when the employment rate is down so low that these same people can't find a job, and some of them have felony convictions, and their parents and relatives don't have a store or some job to offer them, and so what are they forced to do but to go back into the circle of crime that will end them back, end up in the same place from whence they came. kvci.blogspot.com. Brother George Boston Rhyme, the word on the street.